Hey, I'm going to show you how to maintain your hydraulic slide out gearbox packs in good working condition. On each hydraulic slide out with exposed gear packs, you'll see two of them. There's one up front, and you can see this one. And we're now looking at the other gear pack on the hydraulic slide out. You'll also notice right next to it is a nice shiny cylinder, and this is the hydraulic cylinder. There's two of them, one on each main slide that run up inside, and they're centered about in the center of the belly of the fifth wheel underneath the coroplast. And what we want to do is we want to maintain and clean these gear packs so that they're not all rusted up, full of dirt and everything else. And if you notice in this video, you'll notice that you don't see any rust on the gear pack itself. On the rollers, there's two, one on each side, that the cross member bar rolls on as it slides in and out. And then you've got a track assembly right here that meshes with the gear teeth. And the purpose of these gear packs, they're not powered. The purpose of them is to maintain and keep the slide straight as it tracks in or tracks out. Yeah, and we're sitting underneath the slide out just a few days before our trip here in May of 2021 to head up to Island Park and spend about 10 days up at Island Park in Yellowstone National Park. And showing you what I use to keep the gear packs and track assemblies clean and rust free. And it's a graphite dry lubricant. It's gray in color, and that is what I recommend to use. They also make a white one, but it kind of looks ugly and nasty when you spray it up in there, so I prefer the gray. And then I use some motorcycle fork oil. You can use automatic transmission fluid or AW32 hydraulic oil. And what I do is I'll use that and I'll wipe a light coat on these rods, on the hydraulic cylinders, one on each side. My particular Alpine, the 3010RE, all three slides are hydraulic. The two main slides have exposed through the frame assemblies, and so you have the gear packs, the hydraulic cylinder, and the rack and pinion that keeps the slides aligned. On the bedroom slide out, none of that is exposed. When you look at it from the outside on the bottom, everything is on the inside. You have to lift the bed up, and then there's an access panel, and open that up, and then you'll see the hydraulic cylinder, and there are some guide wheels and stuff, but it does not have gear packs like these main slides do. When I go to use this graphite spray, a little bit goes a long way, and it's got a nice long snout so that you can get it up in where you want. And I also like to, on each side where I've got this pointed at, on each side and on the top, right here where this tab is at, those are wear tabs, and those tabs rub against this metal bar as it moves in and out. And so if those get dirty or dry, it will cause your slide to squeal. So this graphite spray will take care of that problem for you. When you go to use this spray, a little goes a long way, and I'm going to show you what I mean. I've already lubed my slide, so I'm just going to spray a little bit on the frame here, and you can see how runny that is. And you can see that it's gray in color. And so when you go to use this, you know, have some rags with you and don't have your face right up where you're spraying at, or if you're like me and you wear glasses, you'll get it splattered all over your glasses. I like to treat these gear packs before every trip that I take. Probably doesn't have to be done that often. We're only able to get out 3 or 4 times a year, so you know, I have the time to take care of this. If you're out on the road a lot, I'd recommend once a month, particularly if you are down in the southern area or over on the Oregon or California coast where you've got a lot of salt air. Get up underneath there, spend 10 minutes and take care of these exposed gear packs, and the assemblies will last you a lot longer. Your slides will move in and out a lot quicker, and they'll be very quiet. If you start hearing your slide squealing as you're opening or closing it, that is a sure sign that these wear tabs, there's one here, one on the top, and one on the other side. That's a sure sign that you've got dirt, rust, or something that's rubbing on the inside of those wear tabs, and that's what's creating that noise. And it's loud enough that if you do it early in the morning and somebody next to you is trying to sleep in, they're not going to like you too much because it'll wake the dead. And one last thing before I get out from underneath this slide, since it's starting to rain a little more, we're looking at the end of this actuator, and this blue thing I have here slides up and stays in place and keeps the birds from going in and out making a nest. But you'll see the 3 adjustment nuts. These 2, the back one is a lock nut which holds this forward nut, and this holds the extend position of the slide when it's fully extended out. You'll also notice that you see some exposed threads and another nut. You want to see these exposed threads, and when the slide out closes in, this hydraulic cylinder that you see will pull, and then this threaded portion, which is free, travels and moves up against this bar and starts to pull the slide in. So if you're having issues with your slides not closing tight enough or not opening tight enough, then this is where you would make those adjustments at. And there is an adjustment on the vertical height as well, and it'll be on both ends of the slides. And what we're looking at right now, there's 2 screws here, and so if your vertical height needs to be adjusted, loosen these screws up a couple of turns, and before you do that, make a mark across the vertical plane and the horizontal plane so that you know where this plate's at. And then to raise or lower the slide, loosen this jam nut and then put a wrench on here, and you'll want a 1/2 inch drive or a good sized box end wrench, and then either turn this up or down to raise or lower one end of the slide vertical height. And you also have the very same bracket and adjustment features on the front end of the slide. And you want this horizontal mark so that when you raise this vertically, if the slide should move a little bit one way or the other, you can move this bracket back over and get your horizontal alignment back up. And if you're going to do any vertical adjustments or horizontal adjustments, I would recommend that you turn this bolt no more than 1 turn at a time, and then run the slide in and out a couple of times to check and make sure that your adjustment is going the direction that you want it.